Breaking Bad is widely regarded as one of the best television shows of all time. The story of Walter White's descent into the drug trade has captivated audiences worldwide, but it was only by accident that the show ended up the way it did. My name is Connor Autumn, and this is what you don't know. As many hardcore fans are probably aware, Season 1 suffered quite a few cutbacks from the writer's strike of 2007. Originally, this season was slated for 9 episodes, but because of the strike, it had to be dialed down to 7. This is why Season 1 in particular is noticeably shorter than the rest of the series, and why the season ended as abruptly as it did. This turned out to be a blessing in disguise, however. Series creator Vince Gilligan originally planned to have Jesse Pinkman die at the end of the season, but because of the shortened season, as well as Gilligan enjoying Aaron Paul's performance, Jesse stuck around. Thus, instead of Tuco beating Jesse to death in the junkyard, it was changed to a random henchman. Given how Jesse went on to become one of the most iconic characters of the series, this was certainly a serendipitous moment. Speaking of Tuco, he was originally going to be the primary antagonist for the entirety of Season 2, but actor Raymond Cruz had scored a major role in the series The Closer. As a result, Tuco was killed off early on in the season. In retrospect, this helped the series out in the long run. Killing Tuco off by the end of the second episode of the season helped establish the show as unpredictable and allowed the rest of the season to expand in a different direction without an antagonist looming over Walt and Jesse. A minor moment, but interesting nonetheless. During Jane's death, Walter was originally supposed to roll Jane on her back while she was throwing up, leading her to choke to death on her own vomit. However, Bryan Cranston and AMC officials claimed this was too far for Walter at this point in the series, so Jane's death was changed to Walter absent-mindedly rolling her on her back and not helping her out when she starts choking. It's a small thing, but huge in the development of Walt's character, changing him from coldly murdering Jesse's girlfriend to simply watching her die. Many fans agree that Season 4 in particular is a high point of the series, but it only happened that way purely by chance. Vince Gilligan had originally envisioned Walt visiting an imprisoned drug lord in South America to plan revenge against Gus Fring. But it ended up being scrapped because there wasn't enough room in the budget for it, and because Gilligan could not figure out how to give Walt a convincing reason to go to the prison anyway. And if you ask me, this series was ultimately better for it. Finally, the last season has been lauded by many for being a wonderful conclusion of the series. But behind the scenes, the crew were essentially doing it by the seat of their pants. All of the flash forwards of Walt traveling back to Albuquerque and buying the machine gun were done without a clear direction on how Walt would get there or why he was even doing it. In fact, Vince Gilligan spent the season trying to figure out why Walt would want to travel home until a 16-year-old fan by the name of Kevin Cordasco asked about Gretchen and Elliot, who Gilligan had completely forgot by that point. Gilligan finally found his reason for Walt, and with that, Kevin greatly influenced the ending of the show. The crew offered to tell Kevin on how the show would end, but Kevin refused, saying he would rather watch the ending. Sadly, Kevin passed away before the final 8 episodes aired. The first episode of the final half of the season, Blood Money, was dedicated to Kevin's memory. Breaking Bad was essentially lightning in a bottle. In a lot of the ways, the show had accidentally found its way into success and has become one of the most celebrated crime dramas, and certainly one of my favorite TV shows. And if it weren't for the rough patches behind the scenes, it probably would not have found that level of quality. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it and subscribe for more. We'll be posting more content in the coming weeks, so click on our notification gong if you want to follow more of what we do.